Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing so well today. I am feeling very reflective and introspective because my birthday is coming up. It's around this time of year that I start to journal a lot and kind of just look back at everything that's happened over the past year. I keep thinking that I'm still 27, but I've been on this earth for over 3 decades now, and I have definitely seen trends come and go. It is honestly crazy to see in real time, especially in fashion, in home decor, and even in crafts. I feel like that scrappy style of crafts is back in, and it makes me feel so nostalgic every single time I see it. Even when I was younger, my mom would look at my clothes and be like, oh, we used to wear that back in the day. And at that point, I was very into thrifting and finding things from the 80s. So patterned dresses, colorful tops and pants. And I actually would get upset and be like, why did you not save any of that stuff for me? As if she was gonna put that all in a box and store it away for 20 years for her future daughter. So for today's video, I thought it'd be fun to take a look back at the last 3 decades and do some DIYs inspired by them. We're gonna go through the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s, and I'm gonna do my take on things that were really popular during that decade. So we're gonna start with the 90s, or as the kids like to call it, the 1900s, because apparently it was that long ago. You know how some people say that they were born in the wrong decade? Well, I think I was born in exactly the right decade. I was meant to be a 90s baby. I think we had the best of both worlds. We were still playing out in the yard, but that was when the internet was really booming. The fashion was so much fun. We had all of the big pop stars like Britney Spears, who I absolutely idolized as a little 8-year-old. One thing that I see that always brings me back to my childhood is mosaics. According to Google, mosaics experienced a massive wave of popularity in the 1990s. This era was famous for colorful glass mosaic tiles, distinct tile scenes in homes, and unique street and public art. Tiles were definitely big in that era, and whenever I see a mosaic, it just reminds me of just walking through my neighborhood. My parents had a nail salon that was literally a street over from our apartment, and there was also a library next to the salon, so we would walk there all the time. There were these beautiful colorful mosaics outside that I would always stare at, and it really just makes me think of community and all of the work that goes into it. I wanted to work on something that I could use in the summer, so we're gonna work on this cute little birdhouse. My neighbors have these bird feeders outside. I'm seeing so many of them flying around, and I'm low-key jealous of my neighbors, so I want to attract some birds onto our patio. I'm hoping this will do the trick. I could just imagine Tater sitting at our window staring at the birds outside. That would just be so cute and so precious. I've done mosaic one time before and I cut all the tiles, but this time I decided I do not want to cut any tiles. So I went out and got a bunch in all different shapes and sizes and colors. I think we are ready. Let's start this first project. I feel like I have the tile bug because this is my 3rd tile project in the last month or so. And while I was working on this, you best believe that for each of the decades, I'm listening to a different playlist. So for this, I was obviously listening to a 90s playlist. There was lots of Britney, TLC, Destiny's Child, and of course NSYNC. And I need to settle this now. Is it NSYNC or NSYNC? Because Brian always says NSYNC, and I'm just like, that is not right at all. It is NSYNC. Please validate me and tell me I'm right. And all my 90s babies, I need you guys to leave a comment. What were your favorite artists and also shows and things you did as a kid in the 90s? In the 90s, my family and I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in Chicago. It was all 5 of us crammed in there. We somehow made it work. We did not have cable TVs, so I remember watching Pokemon every Saturday morning. We did have a computer though, so I was always playing Putt Putt Saves the Zoo and also Pajama Sam, and obviously I was obsessed with Barbies. So this is where we're at so far. I'm loving all the colors on here. I originally planned to grout the whole entire thing, but now that I look at it, I kind of want to leave the roof as is and then maybe stain the middle part just to kind of contrast the tiles a little bit more. I feel like that's the move, so I'm going to do a little test piece on the back, and if I like it, I'm going to do it on the whole entire thing. Good morning, you guys. guys, I'm so ready to finish some projects, but first we need some caffeine in our system, and I of course am gonna make a Vietnamese style coffee because, not to be biased, but I think Viet coffee is the best coffee. I just got in my new beans for this month from Trade. They are so kindly sponsoring today's video. If you're not already familiar with them, Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the US for personalized home coffee discovery. They have spent over a decade building relationships with over 55 of the top coffee roasters in the US. And when you go on their site, you're getting access to coffee that you're really not gonna find anywhere else. So if you're like me and you don't really know where to start, they do have a quiz on there where you can basically put in the style of coffee that you make and your taste preferences. So personally, I like a really sweet coffee, so I'm looking for like a light to medium roast. The one that I'm trying out this month is from Drink Coffee Do Stuff. This is their El Salvador Santa Ana Volcano medium roast. And on the front here it says, tastes like cocoa powder, vanilla, comforting, more sweet, less bitter. So this is totally up my alley. This is literally from a couple days ago, so I already know that this is going to be peak freshness. Everything is literally roasted to order, and I love that every month I can change it up so that I can try something new. I like to use a Vietnamese fin, which is basically a coffee drip method. I love doing it this way because it forces you to slow down, and it also just reminds me of being in Vietnam, going to a cafe, drinking coffee, chatting. The coffee culture there, you guys, is honestly on another level because they drink coffee day and night, and I'm honestly guilty of the same because I will drink a cup of coffee at nighttime. Instead of cream and sugar, we are using condensed milk, which is the secret to a good Vietnamese iced coffee. Time for a sip test. They were not lying about the candy and the cocoa notes because I definitely taste it. If you want to check out Trade and try them out for yourself, they did give me a special discount code for you guys, so you can click on my link down below or scan my QR code for 30% off of your subscription. I'm ready to finish these projects. Okay, who remembers this clock, you guys? I made this last year. This is a magnetic clock that I made out of a pie plate, and my intention was to make more magnets so that I could switch these out, but I actually never got around to it. So I think it is time that we give it an update. So I want to make a whole set that is inspired by the 2000s. So this is gonna be like Y2K themed. I'm using polymer clay for this, and while I was researching what kind of DIY I could do for this decade, I found out that polymer clay got really popular in like the 90s and the 2000s. So I started digging and I found some articles which I will actually link down below. And not to nerd out, but we are going to nerd out a little bit here. I found different sources saying different things, but essentially polymer clay was actually invented by a German doll maker in the 1930s. So it's been around for almost 100 years. They were looking for a material to make doll heads with and came up with a formula that was made with PVC and plasticizer. While it was not suitable for use in their doll factory, they actually ended up giving some to their daughter, who was named Sophie, also known in the family as Fifi, who successfully used it as modeling clay. So that is now known as Fimo, aka Fifi's modeling clay, which is one of the biggest clay brands today. It's durable, easy to work with, and also very accessible, and that is a little history lesson on polymer clay. I wish I had some Fimo so that I could tie in with the theme of this video, but I do have a 2-year-old block of Sculpey clay. We're finally gonna open her up. I'm going to condition the heck out of this and then turn it into the cutest little 2000s charms. The 2000s is when my family moved out of Chicago and into the suburbs, and this was like the era of riding bikes with the neighborhood kids. We had a yard with a swing set, and this was also the time when the internet was getting so much better. So I was playing Neopets all the freaking time. We also got cable, so SpongeBob was always on the TV, and now that I think about it, I kind of wish that I made a SpongeBob magnet. I was also a huge Hello Kitty lover, so I had to make her iconic bow. I was a preteen in like the mid-2000s, so my CD player was with me at all times. I wish I had a pink one like this one, but I was always blasting Hilary Duff's Metamorphosis album. Making all these minis unlocked so many memories for me, so I did go down a rabbit hole, and it's always so much fun just to look at old photos, reminisce, and see how differently life was back then. There were so many little details that went into these pieces, and this is one of those magnet sets that I'm definitely going to use for a long time. So if it doesn't live on this clock, it's definitely going to go on my fridge. President, ding, president, ding, president, ding, president, I gotta run, I gotta run. I'm always holding my breath when I work on clay projects because one little movement and it could totally mess everything up. But now they are baked, they are solid. Gonna paint these and make them even cuter than they already are. And you guys, look at my peonies. I just put these into this vase. These are gonna go in the living room, and every year I just like can't get over how big and gorgeous they get. Peony season is just so short, so if you haven't treated yourself to some of these beauties yet, do so before the month ends. Here is the progress that I've made so far. I just have a couple more to do, like mostly just the details. I am so happy with how my tiny little burn book is coming out. Not to toot my own horn, but this is like dead on, you guys. I love Mean Girls so much. I watch it literally every year, so this is gonna be so fun to have on a clock. I have to touch this one up a little bit, and then I have to add the details to our tiny little CD player, and it's so funny because I actually have a reference to work off of. This is actually Ryan's, but I have the same exact one but in silver at home. This is his that I like to use as like a prop. Basically, I like to put it up as decor now, which is so weird that this is basically like a collector's item because I would be in bed listening to my CD player every single night, the same 13 tracks over and over again until I fell asleep. Alright, we have made it to the 2010s, which to me was like my big Tumblr era. I was obsessed with Tumblr. I was on it nonstop. I would always be on it on my laptop. And at that point, I didn't have a smartphone. So if there was Wi-Fi, I would pull out my little iPod and go onto the Tumblr app on there. It was like my own public diary, and a lot of oversharing happened there. And it was also the place where I got a lot of inspiration because it was the best place to find new music, new fashion, new art. At the beginning of my Tumblr era, it was very like all white, super minimal, and then towards the end it was very bohemian but in more of like a hippie way. And I just remember seeing these specific tapestries on everyone's walls. I remember I would want one so badly, and according to Google it says that tapestries were incredibly popular in the 2010s. During this era they transitioned from historical artifacts into a major mainstream decor staple, particularly in dorm rooms, apartments, and boho style bedrooms. They are definitely still popular, and I've never actually had one, so I feel like today we are going to fulfill that by making our own. And I want to do it patchwork style, so I have a bunch of fabrics that I've had laying around. Some of these are scraps. I also just went to the thrift store to see what I could find. So we have a skirt, a curtain, some leftover fabric, and a bandana. But first, I'm just going to cut everything down, and then we're going to play around with the placement. Time for the long piece. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's unfold her. This is so fun. I love it. Who's your bias? I'm your bias. Who's your bias? I'm your bias. Okay, cool. Looking back, it's kind of funny how each of these projects is like a little time capsule. The mosaic, the magnets, the tapestry, they all kind of say something about who I was and definitely brings me back to a memory. I really just had the best time going down memory lane and just coming up with a project for each of the decades. This really was such a great way to kind of just celebrate another year of life as I enter another chapter of my 30s. Now I'm so curious to hear from you guys. What are some of like the nostalgic things from different decades of your own life? I would love to hear from you, and of course also let me know which project was your favorite from today's video. I'm off to work on my next project. I'm doing the living room makeover soon, so stay tuned. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!